Hello, everybody. David Shuster here. Donald Trump is claiming legislative success as his tax and spending bill advances through Congress. But outside of Washington, D.C., the measure seems politically poisonous. In fact, surveys now show the American people, by overwhelming numbers, hate the Trump Republican bill.
If we're talking about adjectives, how about they think it's awful, they think it's horrible, and to quote our colleague Charles Barkley, terrible, terrible, terrible. What are we talking about here? Well, let's take a look at the net favorable rating on the big, beautiful bill. I don't just got one poll for you, Omar. I got 5 of them, and the net favorable rating, minus 19 points, Washington Post, minus 20 points, Pew Research Center, Fox, minus 21, Quinnipiac University, minus 26, KFF, minus 29. You don't have to be a mathematical genius to know that when the net favorable rating of your bill is somewhere between minus 19 and minus 29 points, that it is not a positive bill as viewed by the American public. The American public at this particular point hate the big, beautiful bill. As far as they're concerned, it's not a big, beautiful bill. It's a big, bad bill.
The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office says the big, beautiful bill is going to cause 17 million Americans to lose their health care coverage. Some of that is because of drastic cuts to Medicaid, which are also projected to cause hundreds of community hospitals and health clinics to close. The bill also eliminates billions of dollars worth of food and nutrition assistance. The cuts in this bill help fund some of the tax breaks for the wealthy. That combination of rich people getting more favors and nearly everybody else suffering more has been the nonpartisan storyline for months. And as a result, the poll numbers have not changed. From earlier in the spring until now, disapproval has dwarfed approval ratings. The unpopularity reflects a striking change from views of Donald Trump's actions in his first term compared to his efforts now.
Donald Trump got elected to a second term because people look back at his first term and they said, you know, we thought his first term agenda helped our family. You see this here, Trump's policies in your family. Trump's first term agenda, 44% said it helped their family, compared to 31% who said hurt. But look at the big, beautiful bill. Look at this. Just 23% of Americans say that the big, beautiful bill helps their family, compared to 49% who says it hurts their family. No wonder they hate this bill. Folks elected Donald Trump to a second term because they wanted him and his policies to help their family, but they think the big, beautiful bill does the exact opposite of that. They think it hurts their family.
In his attempt to tamp down the strong public criticism of his bill, Donald Trump has been making a variety of claims. But as fact checkers have noted, many of those Trump claims are wildly and categorically false.
We're cutting $1.7 trillion in this bill, and you're not going to feel any of it. And your Medicaid is left alone. It's left the same. Your Medicare and your Social Security are strengthened. We're not cutting.
Whatever the merits of this legislation, and whatever the merits, and you can certainly defend this legislation as Republicans have been doing, it objectively does not leave Medicaid the same. It is objective fact that this legislation makes major changes and indeed major cuts to Medicaid. So what kinds of changes are we talking about? Well, one of them that has received a lot of discussion is a work requirement, specifically a requirement that many recipients considered able-bodied who do not have young children prove that they are working or in school or in job training or volunteering 80 plus hours a month.
One of the problems is that many people, especially folks in their 60s, cannot get work. Also, some people are busy taking care of other family members or friends who are sick or have physical and mental challenges. And some parents want to be around to watch over their teenagers. But the Medicaid work requirement is strict and does not provide that kind of exemption. Donald Trump has also made false claims about the tax breaks and tax costs if the measure doesn't get through Congress.
If it's not approved, your taxes will go up by 68%. Think of that, 68, a record, the highest in the history. The Democrats won't approve it only because politically it's so good for the Republicans. The Democrats aren't approving it. But think of what they're not approving. They're not approving border security. We've done a great job at the border, but we have to add some wall. We have to do, various things. We have no money for that.
This 68% figure is fiction, and it is such fiction that the White House wouldn't even defend it on condition of anonymity when I asked for comment. No defense whatsoever. There is no credible estimate that not passing this legislation would produce a 68% tax hike. Now, the nonpartisan think tank, the Tax Policy Center, did say that there would be an average tax hike of about 7.5% if this bill didn't pass as a result of certain provisions from the 2017 Trump tax law being allowed to expire. And they also said that about 64% of households would face some sort of tax increase if the bill didn't pass. But again, 64% of households getting some tax increase is not synonymous, guys, with a 68% or even 64% tax hike. It's just not the same thing.
Of course, basic math, facts, and logic often escape Donald Trump. And he has proven repeatedly he will literally say anything to make his case on nearly everything. So here we are. However, for all of the suffering and harm that the bill will inflict on most Americans, and for all the trillions of dollars in new debt that the measure will pile up, thereby threatening America's financial system, there is a silver lining. The American people, by and large, see right through what Trump is doing and saying, and this bill will hang over and weigh down Republicans in the 2026 elections. The measure has proven so unpopular that some Republicans already announcing they will not seek re-election. And most political strategists believe the bill will practically guarantee that Democrats take control of the House in 2026 and possibly the Senate. There will be other issues between now and then that could affect the election, but this big, beautiful bill, as Trump Republicans call it, is a horrifying and ugly eyesore to most Americans. And when something this unpopular is the signature legislative accomplishment for an administration, watch out. The political winds in America are going to change, and the storms that Trump and the GOP are triggering will be fierce. By the way, Trump daughter-in-law Lara Trump is getting ridiculed and roasted over a possible run for the U.S. Senate.
NBC News reports that among the Republicans considering a run to replace Tillis is the president's daughter-in-law, Lara Trump. Asked about the odds she does run, a source close to the Trump family said, quote, "I'd put it as high as one could be considering it. I know she's thoughtful and will pray on it, and it'll probably come once she is prepared. It could be sooner rather than later."
But here's the kicker. Political strategists from both sides of the aisle are already raising red flags, and not the kind flown at Trump political rallies.
I think she'd be a disaster for Republicans. Well, two things are true. The race probably would be over. She would win the primary, and she'd probably be the worst candidate that they could field. This has been a very tightly contested state. It's one of the states that Romney won and that Obama had won before. I don't think there's anything that's going on now inside the Trump world, what he's delivering, that makes him more popular in North Carolina.
Check out that video at the link below. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.